Brand new numbers have been released by the Social Security Administration, and the news about the middle class is really bad. 51% of workers in the United States make under $30,000 a year. Okay, think about that. That's $2,500 a month. You can't support a middle class family in the US today on $2,500 a month. More than half of all workers in this country make under $2,500 a month. Middle class jobs stimulate the economy, and those are going away. And there's even more disturbing numbers from this report, Lewis. 38% of American workers made under $20,000 last year. Let me remind you that the federal poverty level for a family of five is $28,410, and almost 40% of all American workers aren't even bringing in $20,000 a year. How does this relate to the minimum wage and the living wage? It is very simple. Do the math. $10 an hour, full-time job. That is more than the current minimum wage. You work all year long with 2 weeks vacation if you can get that, and you would make approximately $20,000. This is not an Obama problem. The jobs created under President Obama have more or less mirrored proportionately the wage distribution among low, medium, and high-paying jobs for the last 10 or 15 years. This is a systemic problem. Increased productivity, increased GDP. It's all going almost exclusively to the top earners, Lewis, and thus middle-class incomes take the hit.
And this is why, while employment numbers are still important, we shouldn't be focusing on that as much as wages, because wages are far more important.
And it's important also not to get bogged down in Obama versus Bush on this, because this is truly a systemic problem.
Yeah, Dave. This is a great way to highlight what's going on. It's a total mess, and we need to fix it.
And as Lewis said, when we talk about job creation and unemployment numbers, President Obama is creating jobs within the really messed up context that is our inequality status quo, that is the growing gap in terms of incomes between the highest and lowest earners at a corporation, that is the growing wealth gap, net worth gap that exists in our society. And you can create 200,000 jobs a month or 300,000 jobs a month. You can create slightly more high-paying jobs than low-paying jobs. But the status quo, as Richard Wolff has said, we can look at supply side and demand side stimulus at the micro level. The macro is really what needs to be tackled. And how do you even start to address that broader issue?
I guess you have to go line by line. Dave, maybe state by state. Maybe we just have to wait for states to work on this on their own. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know what Republicans say when you know what happens when Republicans say that you can handle all of this stuff at the state level. Let states decide if we even have a minimum wage.
Well, I'll say this, Dave, that if we keep having large and influential cities and states increasing their minimum wage,
right,
over time, other states and cities are going to have to, because if not,
maybe.
If not, people are going to relocate. The people that are able to are going to relocate.
That's an interesting idea. And that caveat, people that are able to, there is not always that same level of mobility for, and the people who might most benefit from such relocation under the system you're suggesting, Lewis, would likely be the least likely to be able to make that relocation happen. But it is very interesting, and we're going to continue talking about this. Let's take a break. We have a terrific interview coming up next with a man who was sentenced to 15 to life and served 12 years at Sing Sing Maximum Security Correctional Facility.